But how will these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Good morning, guys, and a very happy Friday to both of you. Rima, let me come to you first up. What is the market setup looking like today?
Well, it's looking pretty good, right? It's more than a 100-point rally on the GIFT Nifty. Yesterday as well, the markets clocked in a solid rally, closing above 19,100, 19,133. Not quite at the opening highs because the Nifty had hit an intraday high of 19,175. So from that level, the Nifty was off close to about 40 odd points, but it was still a very good session. And today we're going to build on that. Now, once we get that 100, 130, 140 point rally, it will get us very close to the resistance level. The market resistance level, according to analysts, is seen around 19,250, 19,300. So once we get to that cluster zone, is it possible for us to break out and move higher? That remains to be seen. The global markets were solid. Traders believe that we are closer to the end of the rate hiking cycle. The US 10-year yield has slipped 27 basis points over the past two trading sessions since the Jerome Powell commentary. So we were closer to 4.9%, and now we're down to 4.66%. The global attention is going to be on the October jobs data out later today, and back home it's going to be on earnings from the likes of Titan. That's the only Nifty company, but outside of that, important ones from IDFC, Escorts, MRF and others. In terms of flows, the FIs net sold 1,261 crore, while the DIIs net bought 1,380 crore in the cash market. Back to you.
Okay, all right. So that's the market setup, but a lot of stocks that will be in focus on the back of earnings and other news flow. Surbhi has that list. Hey, Surbhi, morning.
Good morning. So first one is Tata Motors, really strong earnings, revenue up 32%, EBITDA at 13,767 crores, margins at 13.1% versus a poll of 12.8%. More importantly, the company has raised guidance for their JLR EBIT margins in FY24. Gujarat Gas, it was a margin-led beat. Revenues up nearly 2%, EBITDA up 28%, margins at 13% versus 10.3% in the previous quarter. Concor, the higher realizations has aided the performance this quarter. Revenue up 10.5%, EBITDA up 7.8%. JK Lakshmi Cement, the revenue was up nearly 12%, sales volume up 10% and EBITDA up 29%. Sapphire Foods, it was a double-digit revenue and EBITDA growth, revenue up 14.2%, EBITDA up 12% on a year-on-year basis. IEX, steady quarter, strong operating performance over there, revenue up 14%, EBITDA up nearly 17% and margins at 85% on a year-on-year basis. Apart from that, an update on the Mamaearth IPO, the total subscription is 7.6 times, where retail subscription is 1.4 times. We'll also be watching out for Titan. They'll be declaring their results today, and we have SBI and Bank of Baroda tomorrow.
Okay, those are the big numbers, of course. Thank you so much, Surbhi, for joining us with that list. But a lot of action in the F&O space as well. Nigel is joining us now. Hey, Nigel, morning.
Well, morning, Sonali. Yesterday, we highlighted 19,170 will be the resistance zone. We went to 19,175 in the first hour, and from there, we did a U-turn. Now, today, the bulls will be feeling good. They'll want to give it another dash. So, yesterday, actually, the Nifty intraday saw a bit of a dip, but it ended closer to around the high point of the day. So, I like that. Overnight, the yields have cooled off, which is equity market positive, and the Indian markets as well will take note of that. What do the FIs do, though? They added more shorts than longs yet again. So they added close to around 20,000 short positions in yesterday's trading session. The short positioning goes to around 84%. And if we're looking at it in absolute terms, when we started the series, we were saying, well, the FIs aggressively net short in absolute terms. It was more than 1.5 lakh contracts. Now that number has gone to around 1.75 lakh contracts. So they continue shorting in absolute terms. That's the highest that we've seen all the way since March 2023. On the options side, well, the 19,100 put, that was fairly active in trade yesterday. The premium came down from around 100 rupees to around 71 rupees odd. So there is writing being seen on that level. But the 19,200 call, now that's very, very important because, yesterday we saw some writing of them. Close to around 20 lakh shares were added at that particular strike. The resistance zone will be around that 19,250 to 19,300 because on the call side, 19,200 has the highest open interest. Those are the levels that come up for you. That's the resistance zone. The recent high that we saw a few days ago, 19,233. Well, you'll want to get past that mark, which is very, very important. And on the downside, the sense you get is maybe 18,800 is what we're talking about. But maybe that base is trying to move up a little bit, and going by the options data, 19,000 is the mark that you should be looking at. The Nifty Bank, that's going to be the very, very important one that was doing a bit of an underperformance a few sessions ago. Now it's very close to the 200 DMA. It's close to around 150 points away. You wanted to get past that technical resistance zone and then make its way to around 28 DMA. And tomorrow, we've got the big Q. SBI will be coming out with its set of numbers. Let's see how that one goes. But for the second half of trade, I think you look at SBI, look at the PSU banking index, and hope that the Nifty Bank moves to around that 200 DMA. If that's the case, the shots in the system will have to run for cover. Back to you.
Okay, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and hope all of you have a great Friday. With that, we'll slip into a break. When we return, Tata Motors reported second quarter earnings post-market hours yesterday. We'll get you the highlights and the analysis on the other side. Stay tuned for that.